What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your $1,400 third stimulus check package and third stimulus check update. We have breaking news, actually good news, well, and some maybe not so good news for some people. We have a vote that just took place on the Senate. I'm going to give you all the details of that, as well as we're going to go directly to the Senate floor to hear about the battle on the stimulus package, as well as the big change to the minimum wage in the third stimulus check package bill. I'm going to give you all the details of it in this video. Remember, the third stimulus check is $1,400 for adults, $1,400 for children, $1,400 for adult dependents and college student dependents this time around, although those checks will go to the person who claims them as a dependent, but they will be getting $1,400. It'll just go to the person who claims them as a dependent, which is a big change from the previous time around. The new income limits have seemed like they've stuck. That means up to $75,000, you will get the $1,400 stimulus check as an individual, double that for a couple, or $150,000. And then the cutoff right after that is very steep. So if you're an individual filer, 75,000 and below, you get the full 1,400. Between 75,000 and 80,000, you will get a reduced check, and after 80,000, you will not get a check at all. However, it's not entirely set in stone, but it seems like it's a ceiling in stone right now as we speak, because yeah, I'll give you the details here, but that is the latest details. Double that for a couple, so 150,000 for two people. 160 is the cutoff, and we do have the child stimulus checks in there, the child income tax credits that are an increase of the previous ones from $2,000 to $3,000. That's $3,000 per child in addition to the $1,400 stimulus checks. This is for children over the age of 6 through 17, and for children under the age of 6 will be $3,600. And this will be given to you as a monthly option to receive these payments of $250 to $300 per month for the course of a year. So $250 per month for children over the age of 6, which is $3,000. This is an earned income tax credit that is going to be sent to you in monthly checks or monthly stimulus checks starting a few months from now, but will be passed in this bill. And $300 per month for children under the age of 6, or $3,600 per year. This is good for 1 year at this moment, although there's a lot of support to continue it on. Remember, this is the earned income tax credit. It's an increase of it, and it used to be as low as $500. President Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, and Ivanka Trump increased it to $2,000, and now President Joe Biden is increasing it to $3,000 and $3,600. So if you have a child under the age of 6, they're going to get $3,600 from the child income tax credit money and $1,400 for stimulus checks, for a total of $5,000. And for children over the age of 6 will be $3,000 plus the $1,400, $4,400. So very good news. So let's go directly to the Senate floor. Chuck Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader, who had some really harsh things to say about namely Senator Ron Johnson. You remember Ron Johnson is the guy who objected to the stimulus checks in the past when we had Republican Senator Josh Hawley and Democratic Senator Bernie Sanders both campaigning to have $1,200 checks included in the past when there were zero. Ron Johnson's the one who stood up and said, I object. Well, he's getting some harsh words today on the Senate floor. And don't forget to hit the like button for us. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new updates on the third stimulus check package and the next stimulus package coming after that, the Build Back Better package.
And I have to say, a few of my Republican colleagues are going to some pretty ridiculous lengths to showcase their opposition to a bill The Economist has called one of the most popular bills in decades, a bill supported by a majority of Republican voters. Not Republican senators, but voters. Yesterday, the Republican senator from Wisconsin, the same senator who last summer proudly declared he would oppose even a dime more in COVID relief, the same senator who spent a Senate hearing on Capitol security reading conspiracy theories into the record and saying that January 6th wasn't an armed insurrection, decided to make himself the face of the Republican opposition to the bill by vowing to force the reading of the Senate amendment to the American Rescue Plan in full before we can proceed with the bill. We all know this will merely delay the inevitable. It will accomplish little more than a few sore throats for the Senate clerks who work very hard day in, day out to help the Senate function. And I want to thank our clerks profoundly for the work they do every day, including the arduous task ahead of them. Still, we are delighted that the senator from Wisconsin wants to give the American people another opportunity to hear what's in the American Rescue Plan. We Democrats want America to hear what's in the plan, and if the senator from Wisconsin wants to read it, let everybody listen, because it has overwhelming support. We want them to hear about the direct checks they'll get as promised to help them keep up with the cost of groceries, medicine, and the rent. About funding to expand testing and support the vaccine. About the resources for schools to reopen quickly and safely as possible. About the money to keep firefighters, teachers, bus drivers, and first responders on the job. About the dollars to provide rental assistance to keep Americans in their homes. About the help the hardest hit small businesses hang on until brighter days return. Oh yes, when the senior senator from Wisconsin reads, the American people will get another chance to hear about the tax breaks for low-income workers and assistance for American families struggling with child care, two measures that help make the American Rescue Plan one of the single largest anti-poverty bills in recent history. And then, once the American people have heard all over again about the provisions that make this bill so popular, about the support that is going to lift the country out of the crisis, provide millions of vaccines in people's arms, and set it on a path to strong recovery, the Senate is going to move forward with the bill. No matter how long it takes, the Senate is going to stay in session to finish the bill this week. The American people deserve nothing less.
So yeah, the fight between Democrats and Republicans continue, as seems like they will never get along. However, the Democrats are going to be passing this bill without any Republican support, and that brings us to the vote that literally just happened on the US Senate floor. Let me show you. Senate Democrats voted on Thursday to take up the sweeping $1.9 trillion third stimulus check package, teeing off what's expected to be a days-long sprint to pass the legislation. The Senate voted 50-50 to proceed to the coronavirus relief legislation. The Vice President Harris breaking the tie to advance the bill.
On this vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 50, the Senate being equally divided. The Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the motion to proceed is agreed to.
So this is a preliminary vote to proceed the bill onto the next phase of debate. It does appear that they have already read the bill based on Ron Johnson wanting to read it. The clerk of courts did that today. That is already passed. They have now done the next procedural vote, which passed 50-50, with Vice President Kamala Harris breaking the tie-breaking vote. This is actually very good news because this means that all the Democrats voted yes on it. They got the 50 votes in this preliminary vote to basically advance the bill to the next stage in the Senate. So this is really good news because this means that Democratic Senator Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema, and all the Democrats voted yes on this to advance the bill in the Senate, of which now they are debating. That they have to go through a debate on each side. Each side gets time to debate the bill because that's just how the procedures are done. They get time to talk about it. They're doing that right now on the floor. From what I understand, they have already read the bill, and that took like several hours based on Ron Johnson. That's already done too. So again, they just passed this, as you see here. They passed the procedural hurdle vote 51-50 without any Republican support. All 50 Democrats voted yes, and Vice President Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote, the reconciliation vote, to get that 51st vote. Normally that doesn't count. Normally you need 60 votes, but in this case, exactly what needed to happen happened. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the Senate is going to move forward with the bill. No matter how long it takes, the Senate is going to stay in session to finish the bill this week, Chuck Schumer said from the Senate floor today ahead of the vote. Thursday's vote comes after a delay on getting the green light from the Congressional Budget Office, ensuring that the Senate's bill, which largely reflects the House measure, complied with the reconciliation rules, a budget process allowing them to bypass the 60 vote filibuster. Now, here's a big change. This is what I was basically expecting, but here it is in writing. In an expected change, the Senate's version of the bill has stripped out language increasing the minimum wage to $15 per hour. So it looks like the $15 an hour minimum wage was removed completely at this point from the third stimulus check package bill. So whether you were for it or against it, the minimum wage, it does look like at this point they have had to remove the minimum wage provision from the bill. It doesn't look like it's in there at all. There's not a compromise down to $10 or $11 an hour at all. So it does look like they've removed it. And what I expect to happen is after they pass the third stimulus check package and the dust settles, we'll probably see movement on several things. A minimum wage standalone bill. Remember, the Republicans have gave us their own counter proposal to increase it to $10 an hour. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin wants $11 an hour. They could probably get the minimum wage passed at $10 an hour as long as the Democrats aren't too bullheaded on only getting 15. $15 an hour is more than double what it is now. It's $7.25 on the federal level, and a lot of people think it's too much, and that's one of the reasons they've had to remove it, because there's several Democratic senators that don't want it in there at that high of an amount. So likely after this bill passes, we could see a standalone bill, which they'll need 60 votes on. So again, they'll probably have to pass it at $10 or $11 an hour, which is still a 50% increase. We'll also see movement on student loan forgiveness, which again, in the bill that I read you the summary last night, there is a brand new provision in there, which is really good news for anybody that has student loan forgiveness or student loans, that they're putting a provision in there that for the next 5 years, any student loans that are forgiven, student loans can't be forgiven yet, but they're setting up this ahead of time, that any student loans that are going to be forgiven, you will not have to pay taxes on. So the way that works is that if you have student loans, let's just say $20,000 in student loans, when you get that forgiven, if we get it forgiven here in the future, which it's really looking like it's going to happen, you have to pay taxes on that. So you don't have to pay 20,000. You don't have to plus interest. So the 20,000 probably cost you 25,000 or 30,000 by the time it's done. But normally, the way that a forgiven thing like this would work with the government is you would get it forgiven, but you have to pay taxes on it because it kind of counts as income because they kind of gave you the money to pay it off, if that makes sense. Just simple form. So what you would have to do is you would have to pay taxes on 20,000. So let's just say 25% taxes. You may have to pay 5,000 normally. Bear with me here. So normally you'd have to pay taxes on 20,000, maybe $4,000 or $5,000. But it's still better to pay 4,000 or 5,000 than to pay 20,000. However, the wording they put in this bill that I went over with you guys yesterday says that you won't have to pay any taxes on any student loans that are forgiven in the next 5 years. So that's like a double bonus for anybody with student loans when they go to pass this. I expect that after this bill passes and the dust settles, we'll see a minimum wage movement. We'll see a student loan forgiveness movement. We'll see a Social Security increase movement, the $200 per month, and the other increases that Joe Biden has campaigned on. That's three, along with the fourth stimulus package called the Build Back Better package, which is going to be between $2 and $3 trillion, and is called an infrastructure bill. But they're going to put a whole bunch of different stimulus things in there. They're already talking about it. We already have dozens of Democrats. In fact, as you can see here on the screen, we already have a lot of very high-ranking members, such as Bernie Sanders and Ron Wyden, the Senate Budget Committee Chairman and the Senate Budget other chairman, are already pushing to include reoccurring checks in the next stimulus package, that is the Build Back Better package. And this time around, they were going to possibly try to put automatic triggers on them so that they just go out automatically and they don't have to pass a bill every single time they want to send a stimulus check out or an unemployment check. So those are kind of all the big things that are going to be coming after they pass this third stimulus check package bill. Because honestly, this is just the first one under the Biden administration. It definitely will not be the last one. All right, so back to the bill on today. The Senate's version has stripped out language increasing the minimum wage to $15 per hour. And as we expected, that came out in the last 24 to 48 hours, they have lowered the cutoff for receiving stimulus checks to $80,000 for individuals and $160,000 for couples. A Senate Democratic aide said on Thursday that the bill also provides $510 million for FEMA homeless shelters and increases the total amount of Amtrak relief funding by $200 million and places new guardrails on the $350 for state and local governments. We went over that a little bit yesterday. And they're actually making the money for state and local governments make it more that they have to send money to you. So the money that's going to state and local governments will be reimbursed to you guys in the form of stimulus checks. We just seen California pass their own stimulus check of $600. We just seen Maryland pass their own stimulus check, $300 to $500 for families, low-income families. They have different qualifications. Each state will have their own qualifications when they get around to spending some of this money. I will walk you through on this channel. I will announce it and walk you through how to get them and things like that. As well as we'll see more mortgage assistance, rental assistance, property tax assistance, and utility assistance coming from that money that goes to the states. In fact, the wording they put in there makes it so they have to spend more of that money giving back to the people of their state. So that's very good news for the future. As expected, no Republicans voted to pass this bill, this preliminary proceeding, we'll call it, that passed 50 to 50, and then the 51st vote went to Vice President Kamala Harris. Republican leader Mitch McConnell said he knocked the legislation, calling it ill-suited. He says, quote, Senate Democrats, including committee chairs, are essentially being jammed with text from the House. Their own members have barely been able to read this thing, let alone shape it. But again, they did read it on the House floor now based on Ron Johnson. So it was heard by everybody who wanted to hear it. Note that Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski, who could be somebody that votes for the bill, did not vote for the bill. She voted against taking up the legislation. She has not yet said how she will vote on the final bill. But basically, right now we've seen what we expected. All the Democrats said yes, and all the Republicans said no. However, in a win for the Democrats, Senator Joe Manchin, Kirsten Sinema, and Angus King, all three of them voted yes to proceed. They're among a handful of much-watched Democrats who could make or break the legislation. So basically, they've now passed the bill to the next kind of stage of voting on it in the Senate. They're debating it now on the floor. They've already read the entire text, and we're literally that close. I will keep you updated with the breaking news tonight. I will have another video for you guys at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Remember, new videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will let you know when this passes, the details, as they're literally changing some things by the minute. The minimum wage is now out of the bill. You can let me know your thoughts on that down below in the comments. I'll let you know when they're voting on this, when this passes, and all the breaking details. Make sure to subscribe, share this with your friends and family so that they know also. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have dozens of students that have replaced their 9-to-5 income selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.